Well, Black Wednesday and Media Freedom Day have certainly shone a spotlight on the usual threats to media freedom and other media-related topics. Jamlab Africa and the Civic Tech Innovation Network, both projects of Wits University, are hosting their joint hybrid annual conferences held between the 3rd and the 27th of October 2022 under the theme Unplugged 22, but still connecting. Unplugged had virtual sessions and activities from the 3rd to the 20th of October, and the in-person event will be between the 24th to the 27th of October at the Tshimologong Precinct in Johannesburg. Now, let's discuss this. We're now joined via Zoom by Lucy Jacobs. She's the project coordinator for Journalism and Media Lab. Lucy, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Perhaps let's start by you giving us a sense about what the GemFest Festival is all about and some of the solutions that Jamlab has in place in terms of strengthening innovation, particularly in the media industry.
Thanks so much for having me. So like you said, GemFest is happening and being co-hosted with the Civic Tech Innovation Forum. The festival is actually a space where stakeholders can collectively discuss and address the impact of digital tools, application, and social media, and how these have impacted media locally and on the continent. Some of the solutions that we are trying to collectively address is that we believe that good ideas need to be known so that other people can learn from them. In the same vein, failed ideas also need to be known. So these festivals are a place where the media and civic tech communities can workshop solutions and learn from one another's experience. Jamlab and CTIF do a lot of public engagement work. And through these festivals, we aim to reach out and create a space for the digital media, journalism, civic tech, and academic communities.
Now, of course, a lot of talk around, just the future of journalism and media in the continent in as far as COVID-19 era is concerned. How are you structuring these sessions and these talks, particularly if you start looking at the digital media era?
Exactly. So what we found, Unati, is that the traditional media landscape is facing a perfect storm of change. We're seeing, like you just said, a highly digitalized landscape. And we found that media entrepreneurs, journalists, and even academic programs need to reboot and rewire their approach to media and the content they create and how they distribute as well. So how we've structured the festivals, particularly for JamFest, is within the skills track, product track, and disruptive track. And we're looking at the innovations happening in these three spheres. And this is a space where we can collectively reflect on the disruptions that have taken place and chart a way into the future.
Now, are a lot of media houses, would you say, are they addressing these needs from an innovation perspective, especially if you start looking at some of the things that are currently threatening traditional media? I mean, do you find that newsrooms are well equipped to, adopt the digital era?
I mean, what I can say is that we all recognize that traditional business models are under great strain and they really need to innovate in order to survive. It's not a matter of choice anymore or preference. And are they really equipped? Those are the questions that we will attempt to address. And I think a big chunk of it is how do we innovate in a way that is affordable, that is realistic, and how do you actually monetize your ideas, whether you are a big media outlet or you are actually a small media entrepreneur trying to get their content out there and wondering how to distribute and make money off it. This is the space where we can address that, reflect, and learn from one another's experience, whether you're a big media outlet or the smaller entrepreneurs.
Now, some of these sessions that you are hosting are probably great, but do they actually, once you have had them, create impact, particularly in these media houses? For instance, who do you have, as part of the panels, and also what happens, post the JamFest? Does this translate directly then into the newsrooms and you have these impactful sessions, you know, translate into something tangible within the media space?
Very good question. I mean, at Jamlab Africa, we do believe in a community of practice. We do believe in sharing ideas, sharing the innovations that people are using as a way to transform the community itself. And I think there is something to be said about conferencing and festivals and the coming together of minds. There is value in that. Whether or not it translates into tangible action is yet to be seen. But this is an annual conference, and Jamlab Africa as well has other public engagement forums, and as well as an accelerator to actually help media entrepreneurs, and with the magazine as well, assisting journalists across the continent. So it doesn't stop here, you are correct. This is a continual work.
Talk to us a little bit very quickly as we wrap up this conversation about just some of the panelists. I mean, is it limited to just people in South Africa, or are we seeing, you know, you touch the entire continent?
Yes, so for JamFest, we actually do have speakers from Tanzania. We have Honor Stories representatives who are pioneering extended reality in using immersive storytelling tools. They are coming from Tanzania. We also have a Nigerian representative from DataFight who actually works in the Civic Tech Innovation sphere. So we definitely do have a presence from continental speakers. So people in Johannesburg can expect to have a diverse voices speaking to the various topics within skills, product, and disruptive innovations.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lucy, for your time this afternoon. That's where we have to leave it for now. Lucy Jacobs, of course, she is the project coordinator.